Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Peter Barber here, professional opera singer and music producer, and I am back with Forestella. I just did my first time reaction and analysis for their performance of Despacito from the Immortal Songs 2 a couple years ago. Phenomenal performance, absolutely loved every second of it. I hope you guys enjoy my reaction and analysis for this song, and I will see you after.
Sabes que ya llevo un rato mirándote. Tengo que bailar contigo hoy.
Vi que tu mirada ya estaba.
Yeah, bass.
Muéstrame el camino que yo voy.
So I believe we have Duhoon kicking us off, who's the kind of resident baritone, but can also sing tenor range. And then, of course, Woo Rim, my fellow classical low bass. That's just so cool to hear him performing in this context. And I have checked out some of his singing in the classical world too. And he's a very strong singer. It's really rare you have someone that can do both so well. Absolutely love it. The beginning here, so a lot of big performances like this, and I'm sure many of you know this already, they'll pre-record the audio so that it sounds really good, and then they'll still perform it live, but they might be using like 70% or 80% audio from the pre-recorded and only have a little bit going in the actual live feed. This is just to ensure that nothing goes catastrophically wrong when you're singing for millions of people. They'll do it with, you know, the national anthem or in the Super Bowl or the halftime show in the Super Bowl. It's very common. And I just noticed some of the vowels that Duhoon was singing in the beginning were totally different from the audio coming through, which is just like a sign that is what's happening. Let me see if I can point one out. Okay, so there he goes, uh-huh, and then pulls the mic totally away and then says, then you hear, oh yeah. But if he had done that live, he's too far away from the mic for it to be the same volume as the notes that came before it. So that's one thing. Look at this. And then he said there, he went, the sound is whoa, 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 but his mouth is going, yeah. So watch that. So that's another discrepancy here. And I think this is just fascinating and interesting, hopefully for you guys to see, like, live performance practice on a really big scale. This is something that artists often do. Watch this one. So he goes, no, yeah, if you watch his mouth, but you hear, oh, no, in the actual audio. Okay. Pretty cool. By the way, he sounds phenomenal. I mean, like, incredible voice. That's why we're making a video for it. Obviously, Forestella's so wicked talented. That one was right. All right, so we're in C minor, and Despacito, originally by Justin Bieber, it is an absolute bop of a song. I love it. It's as far as pop music goes, it's really creatively written, really, really fun, good groove, good beats, all that stuff. And I don't know where I was going with that. Duhoon sounds awesome. I want to see how high he sings here. He actually is already getting up pretty high in the tenor range. Maybe more of a tenor. I thought people were considering him a baritone, but he's sounding very much like a tenor to me. So that's up to F4. So that is in baritone range, but the way in which he's singing it, it sounds much more like tenor, like a very easy access.
Vi que tu mirada ya estaba llamándome. Muéstrame el camino que yo voy.
Nice two-part harmony. How low is Wu Ri? He's not going nearly to the bottom of his range here. I think we have very similar vocal ranges from what I've seen in his performances and the repertoire we sing in opera as well. E. So down to A flat 2, and you know, very nice and warm and resonant and easy, really lovely. Love the two-part harmony.
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy a hacer control, voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso. Oh yeah.
So that's Mingyu, our resident tenor. So a higher tenor than Do-hoon. Do-hoon, baritone. Mingyu, tenor. And then, of course, next we're going to get Hyung-ho, who's our countertenor, our sopranist, our falsettist, who sings very, 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 very high. But Mingyu sounding is just phenomenal coming in here and exploring a little bit more of that upper tenor range. So he's still only going up to that F4, which is the same high note that Do-hoon hit. So we're still not getting any high notes from any of these guys, really, but Mingyu, that it's easier for his voice than it is for Do-hoon, and you can feel that in the delivery of the words. It's easier for him to act, even if it's not difficult for Do-hoon to sing that high. It is easier still for Mingyu because he's a higher tenor voice. We'll see what Hyung-ho does. Even easier. It's almost like he's just, I mean, that's, can you guys tell that's a really interesting kind of ladder we've climbed where Do-hoon, Mingyu, and Hyung-ho are all singing the same pitches, but it gets a little bit easier for each singer to sing them because the voice types get higher throughout the three of them. Then, of course, Wu Ri, he takes the second part and goes the octave down. But it's cool to see that progression and to see the different types of tenor, really, singing the same notes. Let me go back into this transition.
Despacito, quiero respirarte cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído para que te puedas si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Vengo en las paredes de tu laberinto. Hacer de tu cuerpo todo manuscrito. Sube, 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 sube.
I love it. And they're staying very true to the original song as far as the vibe and the melody and the harmonies. And I love that they have choreography and it's a whole production. It's awesome. I like how they're approaching this chorus where there's a soloist and then harmonies jump in and then it goes back to the soloist and then more harmonies jump in. So we're getting a kind of shifting landscape of voices here. Some solo, some harmonies. Of course, we have Wu Ri doing an octave down, kind of filling out the low end of the vocal spectrum to create a more full sound. It's great stuff. It's really, so I love that they're adding harmonies because they have the asset of being a group of four instead of just Justin Bieber, remember singing on the original. So they can do added harmonies in a live performance, but aside from that, they're staying pretty true to the original song, which is again a really excellent fun, pop song with this kind of Latin American vibe. That's Do-hoon, yeah. Right, so Do-hoon right now taking the lead, and then the others joining in on Despacito. Poverito, whatever the words are. Got two soloists.
laberinto. Es el de tu cuerpo todo manuscrito.
Sube, 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 sube.
Quiero mi bailando, pero quiero ser tu ritmo. Quiero le enseñes a mi boca. Tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, favorito, baby.
Yeah, that's Do-hoon singing way up. That's up to a tenor high B flat. He touches that B flat. So that's, I mean, can some baritones sing that high? Sure, some. Can they do it reliably in live performance? Very few. Very few. So if anything, I would probably actually call him a tenor. Really, I'd say 3 tenors and a bass in this group. But we could say barytenor as well. I wouldn't call him a straight baritone. The way he's operating up in that high tenor range is really, really too solid for a true baritone voice. What's this?
Sube, sube.
Quiero mi bailando, pero quiero ser tu ritmo. Quiero le enseñes a mi boca. Tus lugares favoritos.
Now you can tell it's high. You can tell he's really stretching his voice to get up there, but even so, it's not like he's not hitting the notes. He's stretching all the way up to that B flat 4, which is just below tenor high C. Tenor high C.
Enseñes a mi boca. Tus déjame sobrepasar.
We had a little of that classical sound in there. Favorito, favorito, baby.
Favorito, favorito, baby.
Little of that warmth.
Pasar tus ondas de peligro. Hazte provocar tus gritos. Y que olvides tu apellido.
So that's Woo Rim singing up on an E flat 4, which for a low bass voice, that's when you start. That's getting pretty high. Not super high, but definitely high for a low bass voice.
Si te pido un beso, vendámelo. Yo sé que estás pensándolo. Llevo tiempo intentándolo. Pamiento y dándolo. Sabe que tu corazón conmigo te hace bam, bam. Sabe que esa beba está buscando de mi bam, bam.
I love hearing it. I mean, I'm biased towards the bass voice, obviously, but I love hearing the song. I'm so used to hearing only sung by Bieber. I can't remember who else was on the original song, but it's all tenors. It's all higher, light voiced pop singers. It's cool to hear in this like deep, robust bass voice. I also love the camera, how the cameras worked here, where it's the 4 of them walking towards the camera and the camera backing away. That's a tough look. This is so sick.
Si te pido un beso, vendámelo. Yo sé que estás pensándolo.
Yeah.
Intentándolo, pamiento y dándolo. Sabe que tu corazón conmigo te hace bam, bam. Sabe que esa beba está buscando de mi bam, bam.
Prépate mi boca para ver cómo te sabe. Quiero ver cuánto amor aquí te cabe.
Yo no tengo
That must have been Ming Yu, but we couldn't see him singing that. He's elsewhere in the performance.
Quiero ver cuánto amor aquí te cabe.
Actually, I'm not sure if that was Ming Yu or Hyung Ho. I haven't listened to Forestella in a very long time, so the bass is obvious to me, and Do-hoon somewhat obvious, and the other two, unless if Hyung Ho's singing way up in his soprano register, then it's obvious. But if he and Ming Yu are both singing in their like upper chest range or middle chest range, it's more difficult to tell.
Mi boca para ver cómo te sabe. Quiero ver cuánto amor aquí te cabe.
Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el viaje.
That's that B flat again. I mean, that's really, really high. Listen to that B flat from Do-hoon.
Ver cuánto amor aquí te cabe.
Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el viaje.
Ese momento te
Insane.
Pasito a pasito, suavecito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza,
peca de malicia con delicadeza.
pasito.
I love the octaves happening. I'm pretty sure it's octaves. Either way, I love the high register and the low register singing at the same time. It really fills it out. Actually, 2 covers I've done recently, if you guys want to check it out. One is Zombie by the Cranberries, and the other is Legends Never Die from the League of Legends universe. Both are done with Tegan Early, amazing, belting musical theater singer. And often we will be doing the melodies, the leads, 1 octave apart. And it sounds really cool because you get her high, really awesome, intense belting, and you get my voice covering like the low foundation. In a very similar range that Woo Rim is singing here. Maybe a little bit lower because it's a studio recording. But it's cool. It's a really cool technique. Despacito,
Despacito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza, mezcla malicia con delicadeza. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Y es que esa belleza, un rompecabezas, pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza, oh yeah.
I love that breakdown where it's almost like they're whispering. They're not whispering because if you whisper, there's actually no pitch happening. You can still have speech. Obviously, we can still understand speech, but I believe their vocal folds are still coming together to get nerdy on you. So there's still a pitch being produced, but it's very soft and it's very breathy. Let's see. Yeah, cando poquito poquito instead of cando poquito. Cando poquito poquito. So there's definitely still tone happening. They're still singing in harmonies. And to sing in harmony, you have to have tone. You can't sing in harmony just whispering, because whispering is what's called noise. It's just noise.
Pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza, oh yeah. Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Que te diga cosas al oído, para que te cuentes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero resultarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto. Ese de tu cuerpo todo manuscrito. Sube, 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 sube.
So we really have a very similar second chorus to our first chorus here, which makes sense. This is typically how it goes in any kind of like mainstream pop music, is the choruses are usually quite similar. Maybe there's a little bit of extra on the final chorus. And so Forestella is following that as well. That second chorus was almost identical to our first chorus as far as really everything that's happening, from the voices to the instruments to the inflection to all of it. Those shoes, fresh shoes. Oh. That's more. There's more happening there than the first time through. They've got harmonies going on this whole like second part of the chorus or post. I guess it'd still be part of the chorus. There's harmony. There's extra harmonies happening. There's two people singing the lead, which I don't think there was the first time, and we have extra harmonies from Woo Rim and Hyung Ho. There's that B flat again. Sheesh. Is Mingyu singing the lower harmony here? That's not what I would have expected. But yeah, Mingyu on the left, I believe, is singing a lower harmony to Do-hoon's lead here. That's Mingyu. And they switched. Yeah, that's great. So the first time through, Do-hoon was singing the high harmony, or the lead really, and Mingyu was singing the low harmony, and then they switched for the second part. Bass breakdown. He's making those E flats sound real easy for a bass voice. Sounds really great. And it's maintaining such nice color. it's maintaining all that wonderful bassy space that he has from literally having a bigger throat than the average person. Same with me. It's like it's a naturally a darker, warmer sound. And then you add to that with low tones. But even when we're singing up on like those high E flats, it still has a kind of low, dark quality to it. And you hear that beautifully. I mean, his range is, he can go more than 2 octaves lower than that, right? So he is up towards the top of his comfortable chest range, and it still has that nice warm quality because he also knows how to sing. He's not reaching for those notes. He's not pulling his larynx way up, which is a way to make the sound sound thinner. And but he's maintaining a nice throat space, and it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Just like those are ayo, ayo. Those are just, I just want to flag, those are really solid belts from a low bass voice. He's getting like such good connection right at the start. He's using a glottal attack. Ayo, ayo on both of them, so that's a really great way of getting the vocal folds together really fast, so that right when you start the tone, it's an efficient tone. It takes no time to go from, breathy to efficient. It's just efficient. It just attacks. And it is literally called an attack, a glottal attack on the voice. It's just really clean. It's really easy. It's just a high quality. Just flagging that, because you'll hear a lot of bass voices that really struggle to do that kind of vocalism. Now it's all of them singing. Oh. So we have this super chaotic final section where there's a lot of repeated stuff. Like Wu Rim is just repeating, and then repeating it. There's a lot of like instrumental solo. We got the dancing happening. They're all singing various parts of the chorus. We just had Ming Yu, I think, belt all the way up to a glorious tenor high C in pure chest voice. That's what I wanted to go back for. Yes, right there. And our sopranist Hyung Ho going way up. I can't even do it right now. Sometimes I have access to those notes, but not right now. He's up there, like in proper soprano range with those like kind of vocalisms he's doing. Nice finish. And I like how most of the song was very much like the original, but there's this whole like 45-second outro that's totally new and different and not in the original. But what a great ending. I really love that ending. Yes. Showmanship. Absolute world-class showmanship. Guys, this was really fun being back with Forestella. I hope you enjoyed this first-time reaction and analysis. If you did, the best way to support me is on Patreon. You can check that out in the description. Otherwise, please do subscribe if you're not already. It only takes 2 seconds and it's free. So, 1, 2. Okay, you're subscribed. Awesome. Great. I will see you guys in the next Forestella video. Peace.